You want big life lessons today? I don't know if I got them. It's a Monday morning show. I'm Kat Napzok. Thanks for watching. If you're watching here on YouTube, subscribe, like, become a channel member. Get the video earlier. If you're listening to the audio podcast version, hot damn, I really love you. We're about to enter our 14th broadcast season on the Napzok Network, aka the Napzok Files. We're back in the day. And for those on the Patreon page, man, hot damn, do I love you. Thanks for watching. It's Christmas week here, and we're simply having a wonderful Christmas time. I hope you all do if you celebrate. If you don't, even if you're bah humbug, which I know you probably think I would be, especially I was so bah humbug around Thanksgiving. I don't go out of my way to celebrate Christmas in a big fashion. I do blame my old job on that, but I like the time. I like cold weather, and for me, this is like one of the only times I really get consistent cold weather. Cold weather. It's the only time I get consistent cold weather from now here till off and on till April, believe it or not. So I like that. I like the cozy feel. I like getting cozy. And sometimes you drive around where I live, and like every town in America, they put the little lights up, and it's cozy. It's cozy. So I'm looking forward to a good week. My goals around Thanksgiving were to achieve boredom and fully relax. This year, I'm in this spot, and maybe this is where we help this week. Like I said, I don't know if I have anything profound today, and I don't try to be profound. I just try to barf up what I'm feeling, and you guys make me feel good when I'm like not crazy, and you're like, yeah, maybe a little crazy. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, I got that too. And it feels good. I love this little community that's formed up around this show specifically. Let's start here. Before we get to the end of the year. God damn it, Ken. Slow down. Being the president. I had a big win this weekend. I had a giant win this weekend. Great set. That wasn't just about a great set. It was a lot of the same jokes I've been working on and trying to perfect as I start maybe daydreaming again about putting together an hour to do a special in 2026. Maybe I need to get a job first, but I don't know. Might do that. Because that was what's going to be this year. This time last year, I was like, 2025, we're gonna do a special. So here we go. But I had a great set in front of a pretty much a sold out crowd, which has not been the case recently. It was, I think, the best 30 minutes of my comedy career in one 30-minute stretch. Again, not just because of the jokes, but because of the atmosphere that the crowd provided, the connection, the other comics on the show, Jason Kay, Grace Cosmeyer, Carter Parton Rogers, and Joseph Scrimshaw, and the two hosts, PJ and Lating, it was just a great night. And some of us went out afterwards, a couple of drinks. I had an old friend there, and it just all felt good. It felt good. And I'm going to take that big win. But I'm not just going to take the win. I'm going to take the psychological rewiring of celebrating the wins, but also realizing that is possible. Not necessarily every sold out night in front of a room of great people and about my comedy, but just that me being present and connected with myself, me being in the moment, me allowing myself to feel good is and can be normal and continue to be not just this aberration in dark times, but something I can build off of. And again, it's not just about success. Does this make sense? I'm not talking about the success or the stats on the back of my personal baseball card. I'm talking about the idea of I was really me that night. I really, really felt like me. And I keep this past 6 months, I bring this up a lot about feet on the ground, present in the moment, and we can build, you're you, and I want to build from there. And that's what I'm going to take. That's where I'm starting to go with as we race towards the end of the year. Next week, we'll look to 2026. We'll look back. I love the turning of the year. I love the calendar switch. I get into all that. I don't know why. I believe in the breath of fresh air and starting anew, which is why this year sucks so goddamn much when 2025 started, and I was like, this is going to be the best year. I said it on these channels. This is going to be my best year in stand-up. I got a job. I got a good base of operations. I'm going to take this year, man. It's going to be our year, kid. And the fires in LA started, which, as I always said, has not directly affected me, but just put a shadow over the city. It did affect people I know in tragic ways. And though I can look now here at the end of the year, maybe we'll do that more next week. I had probably my best year in stand-up in terms of just my shows. I didn't travel a lot. I didn't go to a lot of places, but the shows I had, I finally feel I'm myself. But all that to say, let's not worry about the year. You out there, don't worry about the year. Don't worry about January 1st. Let's be present in these moments in which we find ourselves truly connected to the actual us, to the true us. And using that to rewire our thought processes as we continue to deal with struggles. You're always going to have depression. You're always going to have these things we're going to deal with. But like, can we all expand our toolbox? And one of the things I'm working on is this rewiring. I'll say this. I'm not going to share this every week. I'm not going to share the details. I did finally make the calls that I wanted to make on starting my ADHD or ADD or deficit of some kind journey. So I did do that. I made those calls finally. Because in true potential ADHD fashion, I forgot I was supposed to do that for about 6 days. And then I did it. It was easy. And I got an appointment. And now, officially, I'm back in therapy. I have to go through this process, of course. You don't just call up and they hand you the pills. And I don't even know if that's the direction I'll go or end up at. I just want to know what's actually real. So I have started that process. I had my first session on Friday. And I'm not going to share that every week. I'm not going to go, here's what I learned in therapy. It might come up again. But I wanted to share that because if that's something you out there feel you need to do but are putting it off, I've been in therapy before, been very open about it, and once had my old therapist on this show. I don't think that's going to happen again here, but very open. But I had not returned to it, and should have a long time ago. And I think it's a good tune-up. I don't think it's the end of the destination. I think it's a pit stop along the way that you can experience many times. And I've always known that. I've not been afraid of it, but it's so easy to put it off. Well, I didn't put it off anymore. And the rewiring, the change of perspective, things I've been dealing with. And this is interesting. There was nothing new or no grand revelations came to me in the first intake session, which is not like the first in detail session, but we did talk about some things. So I didn't come away going, I never thought about that. And perhaps I will. In fact, I hope I will. I love learning new things. But in the conversations with my friends and people in my own life and family and just stuff I've been working on this year, here's what happened. Things I have told myself, things I have tried to accomplish this year in terms of the rewiring of my brain. And I'm not necessarily talking about literally, but just it would be nice if we could get all some chips, some happy chips. Can we get happy chips in our brain? I don't know. But the perspective shift I've been angling for, and things I've shared here that have been things I've learned in conversations with friends and all that stuff again. I blather. I'm sorry. But my therapist did say this one thing. And again, I promise I'm not going to do this every week. My therapist said, but she said in talking about rewiring, about we need to change even your language. Because I was expressing some of my fears that continue to hang over what I'm doing here. I still don't have the job I need to keep me in my living situation. I don't have the job I need to maybe transition to another living situation. And as I keep joking, I don't know, I might have to move into my car or live on a couch or hotel. Like, I guess I'll be homeless. And she stopped me and she was like, we're not going to do that. She goes, yes, I understand. I understand that is a reality. I'm not saying that couldn't happen, but we need to focus on this moment. And you're going to tell yourself, all my needs are met. And I said it. All my needs are met. And I started to cry. Because right now they are. And my instinct is to go, yeah, but by the skin of my teeth, I can't afford that. I don't know if I can pay that. All my needs are met. And these are things that I've said to myself, and that's kind of what made me cry. Not the, oh my gosh, you're right, I hadn't thought of that. But no. I've been telling myself that this year, which means the work I've been doing already, this isn't a pat on my back, but the work I've doing already has been good work. The advice, or can I suggest something, kind of conversations I've had with friends and family, or even, my God, over this last year since my life started to change dramatically, have been correct, good. I've been getting the good stuff. And I just felt like, oh, yeah, I need to acknowledge that I am on the right path. What that path is in terms of money, success, it doesn't matter. This is about me being the true me. This is about you out there connecting with your true self and getting through all your obstacles and getting through the tough spots and facing the challenges that we don't know the outcomes of. Did you make a bold choice this year that's left you terrified and maybe depressed? Let's affirm that that was the right decision. Did you stay in something and double down on something and go, no, this is what I'm going to finish what I started? Let's affirm that that is where you need to be, not just in terms of accomplishments, but it's your true self and your needs are met. Your feet are on the ground and you are where you should be. And the big win I had Saturday night, here's the difference. I've had good stand-up sets, sometimes with an audience that came to see me specifically because I was headlining, or they came to see Mark Ellis and I. We're on the road at a Schmodown event. I've had, oh man, that was great. That was fun. But because I had this thought earlier in the day of all my needs are met, and that advice that I'd already internalized that before my therapist made me say it, means I am aligned. I'm aligned with myself. And I'm heading the right direction. As scary as that direction still currently is. And maybe even more bold choices. Or maybe even more doubling down. Or maybe even more big dreaming can happen. Not for the resume's sake, but for the betterment of me and those around me. And so Sunday, when I was like waking up, and here's what happens a lot. This happens a lot with performers and just maybe anyone in life. I don't know. I've always been a performer, so this is my perspective. You sometimes have that big night, that big win. Oh my God, sold out crowd. Lost a lot of my friends. Killed it. I was funny. It was great. And you wake up the next day depressed. It's a little bit of a natural thing. Adam Sandler at the SNL 50 did that wonderful song in tribute to the show and the people on the show. And he had a line about waking up depressed on Sunday, right? And I remember I saw some people like post about that on Blue Sky, but that's kind of a sad line. That's kind of sad. But I get it. It's not a good thing necessarily, but I get it. That's natural. But for me, and maybe this is where you all sometimes get at, if you do something great at your job, or you have like, oh, what a wonderful family moment, or insert anything, it's wide open. You wake up the next day and you feel like, back to square one. Oh, I am a fraud. Oh, that didn't go as good as I thought last night. I woke up and I wish I said that. I wish I did this. Or that felt good, but I still can't pay this bill. All those kind of things. That's normal. But I didn't wake up feeling like that Sunday. Because I realized as I start to look at things differently, and I have a giant question for my future. The show on Saturday wasn't just a great show. It was proof that I'm heading in the right direction. It's proof that I've made the right decisions. It's proof that the changes, this isn't just, I'm not I'm not just doing the same comedy. The jokes might be the same. And if you've watched my sets on Patreon, I'm sharing, the jokes as they get fixed and get better, hopefully. But like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I've become better. I've become stronger. I've become different. And so when I woke up Sunday, I was like, oh, all my needs are met in this moment now. We're not going to worry about February 12th where I might not have the needs met. We're not going to worry about March 1st where I'm like, where do I live? We're not. Right now, all my needs are met. And we've said this before, but as Princess Leia, General Leia, says to Rey at the end of The Last Jedi, you have everything you need. I didn't wake up feeling down because last night was a great night of comedy and now I feel down. I woke up going, that can happen again. I can make that happen again. I am that again. And just in terms of like accomplishments, I'd have to figure out I'd have to raise the money, kickstart or somehow get an investor. I don't know, but I think I could self-fund a special. But that's not just that's no longer about a accomplishment. I've run away from that because I wasn't me. And I think I knew I wasn't me. But after Saturday and then Sunday when I woke up, there wasn't just a good show. It was me. I'm here. I've arrived. We're only going to get better. All my needs are met. And I have a foundation to make even bolder choices because I've been making good choices. I've been intaking the right advice. And I've been making the appropriate changes. I had a big win Saturday. Not because I was funny. I had a big win Saturday because this is the right direction that I'm heading in. And that is what I'm going to take up into the new year. We'll start the pressure will be on. Pressure doesn't go away. I have to take a couple days off for Christmas and I'm like, the money and I need that $2 from that podcast episode. But I know I can get through it. And that's where I'm at the end of this year from where I was at the beginning. Scrambling, unsure of myself, cut to the quick, cut out at the knees, and unsure of who I was. And this stretch of time, I talked the big game of maybe I need to get right because I feel, and it's not just self-loathing, I feel as though my years in LA from 1998 on might have been wasted. Wasted because I kept myself contained. I disconnected from the person I knew I could be. I disconnected from the better version of myself. Took steps along the way to get there. You can't regret too much. You can't resent everything. You're here now. But now I'm here, and I'm excited. And that's the gift I'm unwrapping from myself this week. I get to go see some family. Get to go see some family dogs. I get to get out. I get some rain. I get actually potentially beach rain. I might go to the beach when it's raining. Woo, I love that. Beach rain is great. And then we come back and we get down to the nitty gritty and we deal with things and I'll be depressed again and I'll have bad days and I'll have this. But no longer am I going to be like, oh man, I had that good night of comedy. Too bad I can't have that again. I'm going to be like, I had that good night of me. And we're going to make that happen again. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Or bah humbug. You choose. Or insert the holiday of your choice. Happy Hanukkah too. I grew up in the suburbs where Jesus was the reason for the season. Whatever you're doing this week, whoever you're celebrating with, and if you don't have someone around you and you want someone around you, if you're in the Discord, reach out, okay? Say hi to someone here. We'll be here for each other. Text someone. And if you're in a position in your life where someone out there in your circle you feel might need that text, don't force an invite on them. Don't say, hey, you got to come out to the family. Maybe they want to be alone, but check in on people this week. Check in on your people. And that's part of being the best version of ourselves. All right, I'm out. I think I'm going to microwave some burritos. You're listening to this mostly in the morning time on Monday, but I'm going to go have some frozen burrito dinners. I'm going to drive Mark Ellis to an airport like a right proper friend. I'm going to have a good night. And we're going to have a great holiday week. See you next time here. Bye.